Hey everyone, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast for Wednesday, July 8th, 2020. Alright, so today we have the moon shifting from grounded and responsible Capricorn, which was the theme yesterday, making it a good part of the lunar cycle for things that require time, patience, or perseverance. But as the day unfolds, and especially going into tomorrow, getting in touch with our visionary side. Great to see the future, both for ourselves and collectively, and think outside the box and maybe challenge the status quo or our own status quo a little bit to induce some change could be a great way of working with this in constructive ways. Now today Mercury is squaring up to Mars exact, so if yesterday, particularly the later part of yesterday, if you did feel like there was any needing of maybe taking initiative or assertiveness or maybe finding balance with that side of yourself, it could be a very good day to incorporate that, especially if it does involve anything using our minds or communications. All right, so let's take a look at all this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this Wednesday. And again, we are using the visible sky called True Sidereal Astrology. This does change the signs from all forms of mainstream astrology. So if you do notice some of the signs are different between systems, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so let's take a look at the moon's placement, which represents where we're at in the lunar cycle. The most important thing is, of course, that we just had that full moon / partial lunar eclipse last weekend. And so if there has been any shifts of perspectives or things you've kind of looked at for a status check in your life and do want to incorporate moving forward, it could be a very good week to do that as we do enter into this disseminating phase. The disseminating phase is about taking that insight and disseminating it or implementing it into different facets of our life and just all in all along our life journey. But the theme will be shifting from more grounded energy of Capricorn, which was the case yesterday. Themes around cultivating our more disciplined side, doing things that require responsibilities and time and patience. But as the day unfolds, really good to get in touch with the visionary side of Aquarius, the future ideals, cultivating our own future aspirations perhaps, maybe doing things collectively, networks, friends, the world at large, anything on that progressive level, really good to develop. And all in all, just getting in touch more with our true self, right? Aquarius is the side that does want to contribute, does have those visions, and fundamentally wants to induce change in our life, either personally or interpersonally or collectively. So really good to do that as we get into tomorrow. But today we do have Mercury squaring up to Mars exact. Mercury, the planet of our mind and communication, who is retrograde, is going to be squaring Mars exact. And Mars is the planet of our drive and our needs. So a little bit of a clash with that. If you did feel as the day unfolded yesterday that you needed either more of that Mars energy, more of that initiative and drive and assertiveness, or maybe there was too much of it. Maybe it was feeling attached, or maybe some things involving the desires and needs being very strong. But today, making this a great way of working with it is to incorporate that balanced, constructive Mars energy. How can we pursue things involving our mind and communication in constructive and healthy ways and bringing that extra attention to it? So anything on that level could be really good. Now with Mercury retrograde, with all of this, of course, it's still a good time to be flexible. Allowing things to be experimenting at this time regarding our perception, regarding our routines, regarding maybe some of the correspondence or communication, especially with this in Gemini. So great to allow for plans A, B, C, and D, be as flexible as possible and experiment during all of this. And of course, with Mars in Pisces, when we are taking action, good to do so with receptivity, right? Mars is in the oceans of Pisces, which makes this action-oriented stuff more constructive when we are putting energy towards some sort of ideal or dream or something important to us on a soul or spiritual level. Or sometimes a little bit of inaction can actually lead to getting more done. And all in all, just feeling our way through the currents of life versus fighting upstream which we sometimes do want to do when Mars is in Pisces, but of course noticing way more constructively, being more receptive. All right, so that's the day in a nutshell. That's the most important thing. On a very minor note, going into tomorrow, we do have Venus in a slight sextile with Chiron. And so Venus, the planet of our values and relationships, will be contacting the healing comet Chiron. So an opening for perhaps some healing in our interpersonal relationships or through the values of life, maybe connecting to nature, some comforts, some enjoyments, could be healing and therapeutic. So anything involving relationships or enjoyments that you do feel like could be healing for you could be a very constructive way of working with, particularly tomorrow and going into the rest of the week, but we may feel that the later part of the day. Today, the most important thing is how can we find the healthy way of taking action and initiative in our life, both being non-attached to it, being okay with how things are, having that acceptance, but also at the same time, if there isn't enough of it, right, maybe incorporating some of that action and initiative there. And in that way, makes it a very constructive day. Do continue with that flexibility with Mercury retrograde and the Sun in Gemini. And the theme today, shifting from responsible Capricorn, going into more progressive and visionary Aquarius, all to incorporate these shifts of perspective that we've had since the weekend. All right, so everyone have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't yet. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily videos, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the next daily forecast. Take care.